This show is not intended for the politically correct or the close-minded. Enter at the risk of opening your eyes. You have been warned.
Why does the media attack an issue? To get primetime ratings?
In my line of work, you got to keep repeating things over and over and over again for the truth to sink in.
The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army.
A moment comes when we step out from the old to the new, and when the soul of a nation, long suppressed, finds utterance.
To kind of catapult the propaganda.
You are listening to Open Eyes with your host, Ira Robinson. From the normal to the paranormal, from government cover-ups to the depths of our consciousness, we aim to explore all things. From the dawn of prehistory to current events, no topic is forbidden and nothing remains hidden.
No more secrets.
Open your eyes and open your mind to the fact that life as we know it is not as we have been taught. Join us at LateNightInTheMidlands.com or OpenEyesNetwork.com as we take this brief journey through the depths of the cosmos and explore what it really means to be human.
Many peoples have sacrificed their liberties, only to learn to their sorrow that deceit and mockery, poverty and tyranny are their reward.
Whether you're online or offline, intercontinental or intergalactic, hello and welcome to Open Eyes. Tonight is, let me see here, July 10th, 2015, and I have a big show in store for you guys tonight. This is a continuation from last night's Brothers at Arms episode in which Joe Long and I had a long and mind-exploding discussion regarding a plethora of topics, of which included Obama and his accomplishments. Note the sarcasm, tongue-in-cheek word that I'm using there. And the crap that he has brought us over this past 7-ish years that he's been in office, and the crap storm that we have coming up as well with all of the new candidates that are coming forward in droves. So we didn't get through all of the things that we wanted to get through last night in our discussion. And if you want to go into the archives and listen to that episode, I definitely recommend doing so. You can find that at OpenEyesNetwork.com/BA018. 18 episodes we've done so far of Brothers at Arms, and it's been an interesting journey and trip so far. Anyways, so tonight we have a continuation of that subject and of that topic, and I am once again joined by my brother in arms, Joe Long. Hello, Joe.
Greetings. This is all from the Dungeon of Truth. Walls have been freshly squeegeed and repainted, but I have a seriously sick feeling that they're going to explode. That I'm going to have to I'm just going to paint my walls red. I just need to paint my walls red. Just
get it over with.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, you know, red is an interesting decoration sometimes. It's a color of excitement and energy and sometimes anger.
Anger, passion,
exactly.
blood.
Exactly.
I'm going to paint it a swirling pattern of red and gray.
Yep, that works. Can't tell the brains and you can't tell the blood.
Bingo.
So before we get to the topic at hand, which is, again, Obama's fail rate in the time that he's been in office, I do have a couple of news stories for you guys, and I definitely wanted to bring Joe on with a few of these just to get his thoughts and his takes on these things that I'm bringing him, and hopefully they won't be as explodey as last night's problems were.
Oh, I have a feeling with you, Ira, they always are. Sorry, folks. I'm actually eating a quick granola bar to build up my energy.
Okay, well, you can
That's
mute
what
your
the
side
crackling
then.
was. That was over. Now it's over now.
Alrighty, you can mute your side then, and I'll get through this bit of the story here. This story is actually a little bit of a long one either way anyways. So this is from a local problem here in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Joe and I are local to this area, and then we have an interesting story that is taking place here, and it's in regards to the Indiana Supreme Court. The Indiana Supreme Court is weighing an emotionally charged case in which a man lost custody of his daughter after spurning child welfare officials' suggestions that he leave his mentally ill wife based on their fears that she might harm the girl. The justices heard arguments on Thursday in the dispute in which the State Department of Child Services had sought to terminate the man's parental rights due to his wife's refusal to take medications to treat her mental illness. An Allen County judge severed the father's parental rights in April 2014 after he opted not to leave his wife, a course of action suggested by DCS officials who feared that she might harm the then 3-year-old. The child, who will turn 5 in August, remains in foster care while this case is appealed. Fort Wayne attorney Greg Fumarolo told the court that there was no evidence that the woman ever tried to harm her daughter, and said the husband repeatedly asked her to stay on her medication. He did all that he could do to preserve the family unit, according to the attorney. But DCS attorney Robert Henke told the court the father had his own parental issues. During one supervised visit, he said, the mother became agitated and attacked the father, who left with her instead of consoling their hysterical daughter. In the most important moments, the father did not come to the child's rescue, according to this attorney. The woman went to DCS in the fall of 2012, saying that she was overwhelmed and wanted to give up her daughter. Over the following months, the woman attended counseling and was on and off medications while the child was in foster care. Court records document several supervised visits that ended in tears or confrontations. DCS grew concerned that the mother might harm the girl if left with her unsupervised while the father was at work, and later said the mother and child could not remain safely in the home. Chief Justice Loretta Rush noted that Indiana law does not require DCS to wait until a child has been hurt to intervene. Justice Mark Massa twice read from case transcripts in which DCS workers, only 6 weeks after becoming involved in the case, told the man that he could have custody of his daughter if he separated from his wife. Massa and Justice Stephen David questioned whether other options could have been used, such as long-term foster care or a guardianship, to keep the father in the child's life through visitations. Massa acknowledged the father wasn't offering any solution other than full family unification, that he couldn't afford any daycare, and that no relatives offered to step in. Attorney Henke suggested the case was about the child, not a marriage, but Justice Brent Dixon said that it was about both, adding that he found it arrogant of the agency to believe that the only solution was to sever the marital relationship.
Woohoo! Actually, a judge that believes in marriage. Wow!
You were waiting for somebody to come to the rescue with that article, right?
Oh, believe me, I was. I mean, first of all, and also I applaud this judge, thank you, for calling the DCFS arrogant, because they are. The majority of DCFS workers are nothing but arrogant snacks of snot.
Snacks of snot?
Snacks of snot. Or snacks of snot. I don't give a bloody...
Either way works.
Yeah.
I'm in total agreement with you. I mean, you know my personal opinions as far as the CPS units are concerned. They are useless, absolutely, essentially useless for the most part. And they, the CPS across the nation, whatever it's termed in your area, you know, we're used to CPS just because that's what it used to be named here. The CPS across the nation has been found time and time again to be very much in bed in the child trafficking industry, and that is essentially what they are there for. Mm-hmm. Nothing more, nothing less. They're there to facilitate the movement of children into the trafficking business.
or they're there to facilitate children being put into the system to get money from the federal government and the state government, and then being given to people who can pay the most for them as far as adoption.
Right. Right. Exactly. So
You
with
know,
this,
rich Mr. and Mrs. Rich person wants a child. Mrs. Rich person cannot have child, so Mr. Rich person finds an adoption agency, pays them a obscene amount of money, and they get a child. And they look at children as an accessory. Do you think that Mr. and Mrs. Rich person are going to, and this is a generalization, ladies and gentlemen, generalization alert. I am not saying all people are like this, but this is a generalization. Then Mr. and Mrs. Rich person hires nanny or au pair, and they raise the child, not them.
yeah, time and time again, we see exactly that kind of thing happening. Or they're sent off to boarding schools or whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about this case in particular? Do you think that they were right in removing the child from this situation, or?
Do I need to drive myself to Fort Wayne and slap you?
No, I'm just getting your take so that the listeners can understand.
Yeah. The listeners of this show have heard, and of Brothers in Arms, have heard my opinion of DCFS more than once. And I am saying again that no, they are not right in this situation. There were other options than severing the parental rights and severing the marital unit. There were many other options.
I don't
But
see
they
this
went
guy as
straight
being
forward.
wrong.
Huh?
I don't see this guy as being wrong and wanting
No.
to stay with
I mean,
his
he
wife.
still loves his wife.
Right,
He wants to help his wife.
right.
You know, most people would be standing up cheering this guy on because he's trying to keep his family together. I mean, the statistics now on divorce are what, 52, 53% end in divorce?
About that, yeah. I think it's 57 at this point, actually.
Right. The rest end in death. Ba-dum-bum, ching, you know, come on, people, work with me here. Work with me. You know, and I'm sorry, you know, this guy's actually doing what he can do to be a husband and a father and a dad. You know, he's trying, you know, and he went with his wife and didn't, you know, comfort his hysterical child. Sometimes you got to make hard choices, ladies and gentlemen. Getting the wife out of the room to quit traumatizing the child, probably the right call in that situation. You know, and the two justice, you know, Indiana Supreme Court is not a 7-judge panel. It's a 3-judge panel. I think. Maybe 5. I don't know. I'd have to look that up. But what I'm saying is that, you know, the fact that you actually have one of the justices that is saying, hey, this ain't right. This is not, even if the Indiana Supreme Court, you know, sides with the Allen County Court, this is not over.
My question is, what kind of
You're
precedent
going to
is
make
this
me
gonna
invoke
set?
them. You're going to make me do it. I can't freaking believe I'm going to have to, but I am. The Indiana ACLU is going to get involved in this, if they are not already. Thank you. I hate you.
I know you
We're 5 minutes
you
into the show,
blatantly-
and I've already had to invoke them.
You blatantly said no, you were not going to invoke them last night. I had to do it tonight. It had to happen one way or the other. Well, listen, my question is, what kind of precedent is this type of situation going to set? If they side with DCS, does this mean that and in any other cases that come along, it's going to be proper for them to either demand that the parents separate or the child is removed?
Yeah, it's exactly what it's going to do. That is exactly what it's going to do. They're going to set, that's exactly what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
Is set a precedent where they can control who stays married, who doesn't stay married,
Right.
how you can get married,
The
when you
state-
can get married.
the
That is
state-
what exactly they're trying to do.
The state would be the ones that would then be in control of marriage. Of
Well,
who
they
gets
already
married.
are, Ira.
I mean, of who gets married and who stays married.
Exactly. And that's exactly what they're trying to do. They've been trying to do that for years. I mean, they did that with marriage licenses for many years. You had to have a blood test. And then that was deemed unconstitutional and invasive. So now you just go down and pay the money.
Right. It's a bad precedent, and I definitely see it coming along. You know, I think that they are going to end up siding with DCS in this case. I really do.
I pray and hope they don't. Do you happen to know what judge in Allen County it was that passed the original one?
No, the article doesn't say. Sorry.
I can almost guarantee I know it. It's Pratt.
Probably Pratt, yeah.
Pratt is a Pratt.
Yeah.
Never was there a more perfect name for a family court judge than his.
Yeah. It's a bad situation.
You know, and
I mean, it's a hard enough situation already.
Anybody in the sound of my voice that is from Fort Wayne, Indiana, if you know Judge Pratt, you can tell him from me, I think he's a twit. He has got a long track record of taking kids away from parents that shouldn't be.
Yep, he does. He sure does. I have another story for you. This is another one that's in relation to children. And this one, I don't know if you've heard anything about this original case or what happened here, but this is, I guess I just wanted to call attention to this kid's story because it's not getting much play out there, really. And to me, I mean, you know me, I am very protective when it comes to those who cannot defend themselves, especially children. And this story,
all I have to say about that is this, as far as me is concerned.
Yeah, pretty much. So,
if I had my gun handy, you'd hear that cocking as well.
Yeah. Let me read this story to you. This is a little bit long, but it's definitely worthwhile listening to. Handcuffed and shackled to a block of steel, the young boy would brace himself when he heard footsteps outside of his bedroom door. He knew that once the grown-ups entered, the abuse would begin. For years, he was whipped with belts, his face was burned with electrical wires, and his fingers were broken with pliers, all to teach him a lesson. The abusers, who have since pleaded guilty, were his legal guardian, a supervisor with the Department of Social Services in Union County, North Carolina, and her longtime boyfriend, an emergency room nurse. The abuse ended in November 2014 after police discovered the boy in handcuffs, chained to the front porch of the house with a dead chicken hung around his neck. When police entered the roach-infested house covered with urine and animal feces, they found something else. 4 other children, ages 7 to 14, who had been adopted by the couple over the years. They were removed and placed in protective custody. All were abused, but authorities say that this boy bore the brunt of the couple's rage. The boy, now 13 years old, said in an interview, "I was scared to death, and I thought that I wouldn't survive." The boy is not being named because of the nature of the abuse. 3 months after Wanda Sue Larson and her boyfriend Dorian Harper were sentenced, the boy is telling his story. Larson was released from prison in April, just 9 days after pleading guilty to child abuse charges.
What?
Yep. Now the boy
9 freaking days.
9 days. Now the boy wants everyone to know that she didn't serve enough time. I want her to be in jail longer, he said. His mother agrees. It's ridiculous, his mother said. She isn't being identified either to avoid indirectly identifying her son. Jeff Gerber is founder of the Justice for All Coalition, which organized protests against the plea deal that led to Larson's release. He said there's widespread outrage over Larson's lenient sentence. Harper, aged 56, was sentenced up to 10.5 years in prison after pleading guilty on March 17th to maiming, intentional child abuse, inflicting serious injury, and assault with a deadly weapon. 2 weeks later, Larson, age 58, was sentenced to nearly 17 months in jail after pleading guilty to 4 counts of child abuse. But she was given credit for time served in jail after her arrest and was released on April 9th. She lives in the same county where the boy now lives.
Oh, you've got to be flippin' kidding me.
At her sentencing, Larson expressed remorse for failing to protect the boy and the 4 others. She blamed most of the abuse on her boyfriend. The boy, however, says Larson not only knew about the abuse, but encouraged it. As he tries to recover, he worries that he might run into her at a neighborhood store or a mall. What would happen then? That's why I want to tell my story, he said. He now lives with his mother in a Charlotte apartment. Let me see here. Barely 5 feet tall and slender with brown hair and brown eyes, he looks younger than 13. Court documents say that he was put in foster care a decade ago after problems arose at the home of an aunt where he had been staying while his mother was moving from another state, and he ended up with Larson. When the boy's mother found out that he was in foster care, she tried to get him back, but Larson said that the boy had developed a bond with her family and he stayed with her. Eventually, she became his legal guardian. The mother only got to see her son a few times a year at a neutral setting, and he said nothing about the abuse. Meanwhile, the boy says that Larson told him his mother was sick and he couldn't visit her. She'd say, "Your mom is in the hospital. She's there because of your behavior. You're killing her." Eventually, Larson and Harper pulled the children out of a Union County school, saying that they'd school them at their secluded home, where they also kept farm animals. The boy says that he was handcuffed and chained to a steel anvil in his locked room, where he slept on the floor. At times, they would starve him, and he'd have to beg for scraps. Sometimes, the other children would sneak food to him, and he'd hide in the wrappers in a hole in the wall. Many nights, he wasn't allowed to use the bathroom, so he had to use it on the floor. The boy says that he was even shackled when he went outside. The only time that they removed the chains was when he cleaned the house or picked up animal poop. One time he says that Harper cut his left arm and poured salt in the wound. The scar is still very visible. It reached a point that every time they entered his room, he'd pray, "I hope that I don't get hurt." Then he'd think about his mother, that maybe they'd be reunited, and he kept dreaming of escaping, and that kept him going. A few days before the boy was rescued, Harper blamed him for the death of a chicken and made him wear it around his neck, even at night. The police were responding to a call about a loose animal when they stumbled upon him chained up on the front porch. The boy is still recovering. His mother says that it will be a long road, and her son goes to therapy twice a week. He's in summer camp and public school, and still there are times that he can't escape. He had a nightmare that Larson came to his house and took him away. He couldn't find his mother and said, "I woke up and I thought that it was real, but it was just a dream and I couldn't go back to sleep."
Okay, there's a couple of things I need. I need an address, and I need a Barrett Light 50. Sniper rifle, please. With incendiary explosive rounds.
This person.
I mean, this person worked for DCFS.
That's what I was just about ready to say. That's why I did this story next.
Worked for DCFS.
That's exactly why I brought this story up in correlation with the previous one.
And she is the one that's abusing this kid, along with her boyfriend, and keeping him against the law, keeping him, and became his legal guardian because she lied, ladies and gentlemen. This is the type of people we are entrusting the safety of our children to? I don't think so. Most of these DCFS workers have high school or minimal college education and on-the-job training.
It's a sad story. I didn't like reading it, and I didn't like reading it the first time that I ran across it. And I know that you guys out there don't like hearing about this kind of thing. But this kind of story is not a unique story. And this kind of thing is happening on a constant basis. This is one of the reasons why we need to make changes in the way that this country works. It's for, I mean, I hate to use the phrase, but it's for the children. We need change in this country. And I don't mean none of that Obama change.
No, definitely not. What we need is a fundamental change in attitude and a fundamental change in nature.
When did we get to the point that we have, like in the masses, when I say we, I don't mean, you and me and the listeners, because obviously it's an exception, it's the exception to the rules kind of thing. But it seems like in the general masses, a lot of people look at their children as resources. I know that's how the companies look at us. They look at the children as resources to be used up and thrown away.
Mm-hmm. I don't know when it got to that point, Ira. I mean, I know I look at my children as gifts. I look at both of them as a gift and do everything I can to protect and nurture them.
Yeah, I know exactly. It's a hard story to hear.
Oh, it's excruciating to hear. Because, I mean, here we are in 2015, and this type of stuff is still going on. I weep for our species.
This is the same type of thing that led to, like, children being sacrificed to Moloch thousands of years ago. Didn't we get past that?
I'd hoped we had, but apparently, nope.
Where our children are just objects to be used. I mean, that's so many people out there have that attitude.
Yeah, they do.
A lot of people have the attitude again of if you're not perfect, if you don't do exactly as I tell you to do, I don't love you as much. You know?
Yeah, I very much know.
You know how that is.
Yeah.
Personal experience.
Mm-hmm.
So let me do another story here as far as children are concerned and get your thoughts on this. Okay. This is essentially what Common Core education is bringing us to. More than 1,000 people have signed an online petition protesting the use of the controversial health education book in the Fremont Unified School District's 9th grade curriculum. The book, titled Your Health Today, is almost 400 pages long, and among the subjects includes information on bondage, orgasms, vibrators, along with explicit drawings and diagrams, as well as pictures. The text also describes how to buy and use condoms and addresses masturbation, binge drinking, and shows the sex organs in various stages of arousal. The school district's board president, Laura Calvert York, said, "Our high school students today need all the tools they can have to arm themselves to make the best informed decisions."
Okay.
Teachers from the district unanimously chose the book to incorporate in classes.
So what's wrong with this book?
Well, let's see.
I mean, I understand the bondage. Okay, the anatomy I expect to see in a health book.
Yeah, it should be there.
How to put a condom on? Should be there.
It should be there.
Bondage? Not so much.
Binge drinking?
Probably should be there. You know, the effects of binge drinking on the human body are not good. That should be there. I'm still stuck on the bondage. Yeah, this should not be there. Unless we're reading 50 Shades of Grey in health class, and then, of course, that's part of the whole thing.
Yeah. This reminds me a lot of the sex ed classes that we talked about at one point on Open Eyes in the past a few months ago.
Oh, you mean the one in Washington?
In Oregon, yeah.
Oregon, yes, yeah. Oregon. Yeah.
It's pretty much the same thing, only in book format at this point.
Welcome to Common Core, ladies and gentlemen.
According to the interviews that I saw on it, most of the parents, they couldn't even look at the book because it was just, they were like, it's like I'm looking at a porno site here. You know, kind of like the worse than the joys of sex kind of book.
Grace, the joys of sex is you want to talk about tame.
Yeah, tame comparatively.
I mean, the joy of sex was written in the 70s.
Yeah. And I mean, you know, look at the way that some of this, the different education programs like this have been put out, like that one in Oregon where they've taught that meth is good because, well, you can have lots of sex with lots of people for long periods of time.
Yeah,
teaching how to use the porno sites, how to Skype with your friends and so on and so forth. I mean, you know, just different stuff like this. Why?
Well, it's breaking down of the moral code.
Well, it is. Exactly. It is. It's
a breaking down of the moral code.
Well, I see it as being the next steps into basically causing our kids to become sex slaves, training them, grooming them for it.
Well, let's put it this way. They try to turn my daughter or my son into a sex slave. They got to get through me first.
When you look at what happens with some of these programs, like in Canada, they've got a very weird one up there as well that's just been implemented as of this year. And when you take a look at the program itself, it's pretty blatant. You know, there's a lot of stuff in there that just does not really belong. Okay. But when you look into where it got originated from, the person who wrote all the texts for it, got it all set up, actually was last year arrested, pled guilty, and thrown in jail for possession of child pornography and attempting to buy sex from a 13-year-old girl online, and admitted that he was trying to have sex with his daughters and so on and so forth. All of this stuff was the same person that set up the sex ed program for Canada.
Lovely. You know what it is? They're trying to remove the cultural inhibitions for underage sex. You know, same thing that NAMBLA and a lot of these other organizations have been trying to do covertly for years. These people are going to try to do through education.
Yeah, exactly. You look at what happened there in Oregon as well as other places around the nation, and you see that the programs were set up by the Wise Foundation, which has deep ties to the Ford Foundation and a couple of the other foundations that are out there that are very involved in Planned Parenthood. You know, all of these different programs that are out there as far as this topic is concerned. And it's very, I mean, when you get down into the nitty gritty of who's tied to this stuff, it's very, very scary. It really is. And it's very telling as to the direction that they're trying to go with it all. So I have one more story and then we can take our break here, Joe.
Hit me.
Former Florida Governor Jeb Bush will honor former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton with this year's Liberty Medal from the National Constitution Center. The award will be presented to Clinton on September 10th, the eve of the first anniversary of the terrorist attack on the United States mission in Benghazi that killed 4 Americans. The Christian Science Monitor reports that Bush, a potential GOP contender in the 2016 presidential race, is chairman of the board of trustees of the National Constitution Center located in Philadelphia. A quote from Bush: "Former Secretary Clinton has dedicated her life to serving and engaging people across the world in democracy. These efforts as a citizen, an activist, and a leader have earned Secretary Clinton this year's Liberty Medal." Bush's decision... I'm sorry, go ahead.
What does an aneurysm feel like?
Like this. Bush's decision to honor Clinton, who is considered by some to be a likely Democrat candidate for president in 2016, was condemned by the Independence Hall Tea Party Association of Philadelphia. The organization released its own statement referring to the event as extremely distressing and offering instead an opportunity for another Liberty Medal recipient. According to the statement, "As all of you undoubtedly know, much of the blame for the Obama administration's failure to contain the Benghazi attack and the scandalous handling of its aftermath can be traced directly to Ms. Clinton. Indeed, a congressional investigation regarding Ms. Clinton's role in the cover-up of the administration's failure is still ongoing. A newly formed organization, the Independence Hall Foundation, will hold a What Difference Does It Make press conference on Independence Mall, September 10th, 4 p.m., to denounce the selection of Ms. Clinton as the Liberty Medal recipient and to offer an alternative award. During the conference, the foundation will name its choice of recipients for the Defender of Liberty Medal. Let me see here. Anyways, so the National Constitution Center's announcement dated on the June 27th about the award of the Liberty Medal to Clinton states, "As Secretary of State, Clinton advocated for smart power in foreign policy, elevating diplomacy and development and repositioning them for the 21st century with new tools, technologies, and partners, including the private sector and civil society around the world.
I think my head is gonna explode. It just confirms what we have said for years, Ira. Doesn't matter, right? Or Republican or Democrat, they're both the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, here's Jeb Bush, who is a presidential contender himself.
Yeah.
Going to give the Liberty Medal for leadership and freedom and yada, yada, yada to Hillary frickin' Rodham. And on the eve of Benghazi.
On the eve of Benghazi. I mean, what an insult.
What an
Navy
SEALs
insult.
that died, to the Marines that died during that attack, to the U.S. ambassador that died during that attack.
This is a flat out slap in the face to them.
It's not just a slap in the face, it's a slap in the face plus spitting on their graves.
It truly is. It truly is. I was outraged when I read this, I'm telling you.
If it wasn't for the fact that I already I just went explodey everywhere last night, I would probably be screaming at the top of my lungs right now.
Hillary Clinton has devoted her life to expanding opportunities for we the people, not just in this country, but around the globe. That was according to Jeb Bush.
He is full of stacco. That is my opinion. He is full of stacco.
Like I said, when I read that, man, my eye started twitching. I'll just be honest.
Just listening to it makes me want to, scream, yell, jump up and down, and run screaming through the streets, screaming, "The end is near! The end is near!"
Okay, Kareem.
Bring out your dead! Bring out your dead!
Let's go ahead and take a break here real quick, Joe. When we come back, we have the rest of the topic of the evening for you guys. It's the wonderful, wonderful things that our dictator-in-chief has been doing in the 7 years that he's been our executive in power. And what amazing, amazing things he's done. Really, Joe? Can you be honest and admit that how much we should glorify and bow down and kowtow to his wonderful long toes?
No, I can't.
Okay. I didn't think so. I can't either, but I just wanted to get your thoughts on it.
Just to even hear you say that makes me want to,
I threw up in my mouth a little talking about it.
Exactly.
All right, guys, we'll be back in just a few minutes. The Late Night in the Midlands radio network is deeply devoted to you, the listener. We feel it is necessary to bring you all of the information that you can use in your life. Each and every day you will find something to listen to here. And whether you come away from the shows informed, inspired, or entertained, it is our passion. We don't bow to corporations, and we don't have handlers to tell us what not to talk about. We bring you everything. Late Night in the Midlands, however, is fully listener-supported. We need your help to stay on the air and to make sure that we get the bills paid. We need your help to keep the truth alive. If you feel that you have gotten anything out of Late Night in the Midlands, we would appreciate your support. You can become a subscriber and help us out on a monthly basis, or if you'd like, a one-time donation is fully appreciated as well. Every year, the average household in America spends over $3,000 on entertainment alone. If you could help us with just a tiny fraction of that amount, you would make all of the difference. Go to latenightinthemidlands.com and click on the subscribe button. Thank you, and as always, keep yourself informed.
At The Secret Teachings, we are not a part of any group, label, and we do not attempt to fearmonger. Some of the topics we discuss may seem scary, so I advise you not to be afraid, but to be informed as we discuss current events and ancient history, astrotheology and symbolism, the paranormal and the occult, the esoteric, health, and much more. I am not here to tell you that what I say is truth, but to allow you to decide for yourself based on the evidence presented and the dots connected. Information is not negative. It is how you view it that determines the dimensional characteristics of either dual aspect of negativity or positivity. Try as you might, but no amount of disinformation, propaganda, rhetoric, or trolling will change the truth. The truth is the truth, regardless if the masses accept it as is, or if it is accepted by only 1 out of billions. It is no measure of health to be well adjusted to a profoundly sick society. For more information on airtimes and free downloads of past episodes of The Secret Teachings, you can visit www.thesecretteachings.info. That's thesecretteachings.info.
What you're being put through. It's the time before. Never again is what you swore. The time before.
We have been told over and over again that they would not do the things that they've done in the past, haven't we?
Oh, hell yes, we have.
And how many times have we been lied to?
Let me see. 3, carry the 1, subtract the 2, every time.
Pretty much. I have a clip that I want to play for you, Joe, and get your opinion on real quick before we get into the rest of the topic for the evening. This is from a church group that was coming forward to speak about gun control. I want to get your thoughts on this. This is actually a group of African Americans who were coming forward on the subject of gun control and their thoughts regarding the NRA specifically. You ready for this?
Yeah, if I have to.
Okay, here you go.
I want to thank the Lord for our Constitution. I also want to thank the NRA for its legacy. The National Rifle Association was founded by religious leaders who wanted to protect free slaves from the Ku Klux Klan. They would raise money, buy arms, show the free slaves how to use those arms, and protect their families. God bless you. Many of us probably wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for the NRA.
But let me just briefly say that gun control, for Black Americans, we know that gun control has ultimately been about people control. It sprouts from racist soil, be it after or during the infamous Dred Scott case, where Black man's humanity was not recognized. And the beauty about some racists is that sometimes they're blatantly honest. And the racist Chief Justice, Taney, said, we cannot allow the law to recognize the humanity of this individual because he would be able to keep and bear arms. What a lot of Democratic-controlled segregationist governments after the Civil War attempted to deny Black men and women their freedom. They instituted black codes, largely to deny the Second Amendment from newly freed slaves.
Right after the Emancipation Proclamation, what was going on down in the southern states, it's very clear that the Dixiecrats wanted to disarm Black people to keep us from defending ourselves against the Klansmen who were murdering white and Black Republicans to control the ballot box. So I think history is ripe with examples of there's a correlation, direct correlation between gun control and Black people control.
This current administration is far from the truth. This agenda is becoming more and more obvious to all, that it's a distraction. It's a reason, it's an excuse to carry out an ideology that is more evident every day and every week that goes by, that it is anti-American. And when you touch the Second Amendment, you can't become more anti-American, because America would not be without her guns, and guns would not be necessary without her God. We call upon Americans, both Black, white, Hispanics, Republicans, Democrats, Independents, and even those who are not of our faith to agree upon this. Without God, without guns, and without the Constitution, America's end will come with haste. For when they change our Constitution, they will take our guns. And when they take our guns, they will also seek to take our God. That's when Americans will fight back.
Your thoughts, Joe?
Hallelujah, praise God, and pass the ammunition. Oh, my.
That is not what you expected to hear, was it?
No, it is not. Not even close to
I led you into it.
That was not even close to what I expected to hear. But he is absolutely right. You know, the whole issue of the flag, the rebel battle flag being a sign of racism,
which we'll get into here in a minute as well,
because it's very true. He made a very good point. The Klan, right after the Civil War, wasn't just killing black men, and in its entire history, a lot of white men were killed by the Klan because they either are Republicans, and the Klan is extremely democratic. And I mean Democrats as in the Democratic Party. And it was about controlling the ballot boxes. It wasn't about color. It wasn't about hate. It was about control. Pure and simple. And for this religious group to come out and say this, hallelujah. Thank you. Finally, somebody gets it. Because he is right. Without our guns, they'll go after the religion. Be it, Christian, be it Muslim, or be it the pagan religions like you and I. And without our guns, they will try to take our God. Our gods or whatever. And that's when people will fight back. And believe me, I've said it before and I will say it again. They can have my guns when they pry them from my cold, dead fingers.
Earlier today, I got an email. I get emails from a group called Move On, moveon.org, as well as a couple of other things like
MoveOn.org. That's the Dark Masters group.
Yeah, pretty much.
That is George Soros's group.
Yep. I like to get the emails from them just so that I can kind of pay attention and see what they're trying to do behind the scenes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this one, the title of this email is Victory. Confederate flag comes down in South Carolina. Let me read a little bit of it to you here. Tremendous news. The South Carolina legislature passed a bill late last night to take down the Confederate flag from the state capitol once and for all. Now it's headed to the governor's desk where she plans on signing it today, which would have been yesterday. This is what Move On members have been working for since the massacre at Mother Emanuel AME, and what many, many people have worked for since long before then. And check out how they say this. The Confederate flag is a symbol of racism and white supremacy, which any real interrogation of history shows. Lie, 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 lie.
Lie, 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 lie. Big time lie.
Its official presence at institutions purporting to represent and serve the American people is more than inappropriate. It's painful, it's offensive, and it's an insult.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Right.
So they say that they got 571,000 signatures on a petition for the flag to come down.
Okay.
And so that is what caused the Senate there to vote to have this done.
Okay. Now, there's about a little over 4 million people in the state of South Carolina.
Yeah, it's 4.8 million in South Carolina total.
So that's about a 9.8% of the people wanted it gone.
Right.
So it's gone. Means that milquetoast, limp-wristed bunch of politicians who claim to be for the people are ignoring 91% of the people. Makes sense to me.
Yeah, and I like how they go into next things here. Okay, so trying to get the right part here. Members of South Carolina launched calls to their legislators' capital and district offices, which sometimes meant calling legislators' homes. We took over major South Carolina newspapers with ads, and we joined thousands of South Carolinians at massive rallies throughout the state. And we stayed the course until victory was assured, and as of today, we've won. Today, South Carolina is a more just and welcoming place because its political leaders have finally done the right thing, and it's a long-sought victory brought about by many people acting together has added yet another domino in the cascade of Confederate flags falling all across the country at state capitals, major retailers, and more. This is a historic moment. It's a big win for Move On's members and people across our nation. Let's all take a short time to celebrate, and then let's get back to the tough work of fighting for racial and economic justice in this country.
Racial and economic justice. First of all, the Civil Rights Act of 1964 pretty much guarantees racial justice. Anybody that says differently is lying, and
it was kind of the point of it.
Huh?
It was kind of the point of it.
Yeah. Also, anybody that says that, it's the whole white guilt, white privilege thing is a bunch of guilty white liberals who apparently are very upset that they have money. And if that's the case, hey, I can give you an address. You can send all of it you want. Yeah, actually, you can go to the page on the page you're listening to this on. There's a little button that says donate. You can send as much money there as you want. We'll always put it to good use.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It'll go to grow the station.
The other thing is you can send as much money, we can give you addresses on, the Open Eyes website, and you can send it to us, and we'll make sure it gets put to good use. Right?
Got families to feed.
You got that right.
This stuff doesn't come free. So let's get into the topic of more of Obama's successes, because apparently that's going to now be touted as a success as well, right?
Yeah.
I guarantee it. That's what.
Well, you know who did that. Like I said, who owns MoveOn.org.
Yep. Yepers. So
I'm waiting for the soundbite.
Well, I don't have it right here handy.
Of course you don't.
Everything is proceeding as I have foreseen.
There.
I've been waiting for that for a couple of weeks. The last couple of weeks I've been on, we brought up George Soros, and what? No soundbite?
So last night when we were speaking about these things that Obama has done, we were reading from a list of accomplishments that were put out by a very, very left-leaning
let's just
website.
Put it. It's a socialist liberal website.
And we kind of been debunking everything kind of point by point here. So,
yes, this is a debunking week.
Yeah, we ran out of time last night, so we thought we'd go ahead and hit it tonight the rest of the way. Hit a few more, yep. So he has appointed several prominent gay athletes and others and plans to show U.S. government's commitment to gay rights and anti-gay Russia.
What in the world is he talking about now?
Apparently that's an accomplishment.
I mean, what? We got gay athletes on our Olympic team? Yippee! Let's go to Russia. Okay.
Yeah.
What?
Ordered a review of capital punishment policies after several botched executions.
How do you botch an execution?
Well, there was a couple of executions that ended up happening that they ended up failing to execute them properly. The executions kind of went on and on. They dragged out instead of the guys like dying instantly. They kind of
and I have a problem with this. Why? Yeah. If somebody's done something bad enough to deserve the death penalty, I say bring back hanging and use a short rope.
Well, according to the Supreme Court at this point, using guillotines is legal to do. And the government actually now owns 30,000 guillotines.
Too quick. Unless I'm the one being executed, then of course, yes.
Yeah.
Give me the guillotine.
I was going to say, who do you think they're needing 30,000 guillotines for? That's a topic for an entirely different show. But
yeah, but in my personal opinion, if you've done something that you deserve to die for, it shouldn't be quick.
Obama's
It's designed as a punishment.
Yeah.
But him ordering a review is an accomplishment. That's his job.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's the chief executive of the country. It's his job to order things like that.
Yeah.
That's not a big accomplishment.
Yeah.
To do his job. Well, maybe for him it is, considering he's spent 200 and some odd days on a golf course.
Oh, it's been longer than those. I mean, if you think about it, it takes about 3 days for each golf game to take place. So, figure he's spent, I figured it out one night. He's spent over 5,700 hours dedicated to golf while he's been in office.
Yeah. So for him, doing his job is actually an accomplishment.
Yeah. Obama's Department of Agriculture propagated new rules designed to better enforce non-discrimination when it comes to USDA investigations. These rules also extended non-discrimination to gender identity.
Again, why do we need new rules when
For
that
things
is
that are already
covered
there?
under federal anti-discrimination law?
This one falls right into it as well. Banned all federal contractors from discriminating against gay workers.
Hello, federal anti-discrimination laws that have been on the books since, so let's see, 1975.
Yep. Obama's Equal Employment Opportunity Commission clarified and strengthened rules prohibiting discrimination against pregnant workers.
Here we go again. We're repeating ourselves. And this is an accomplishment. Well, getting us to repeat ourselves isn't actually that big of an accomplishment.
Created a requirement in which companies who bid on federal contracts of more than $500,000 must publicly disclose all previous violations of labor law, including unpaid claims for back wages.
Okay, I don't disagree with that one.
Yeah.
Getting them to actually enforce that is going to be the next step.
Yeah.
Again, I don't see that as an accomplishment. That's, again, him doing his job.
Made it illegal for federal contractors with more than $1 million in contracts to force employees into arbitration to settle workplace discrimination accusations.
No, I actually agree with that one. But binding arbitration is actually a... Now that I think about it, no, I don't agree with that one. Because binding arbitration actually is a better way to do things in that case than actually going to court. Because going to court takes a lot longer, and it's
less effective, to be honest with you. The Obama Department of Justice made significant reductions in drug sentencing guidelines for current prisoners, thus releasing thousands from U.S. prisons. This is the first step in 30 years towards reducing the U.S. prison population, which is the highest in the world.
Yeah, because most other countries in the world, when they put people in prison, do one of two things. They're there for a very short period of time, or they're dead.
Well, look at Norway. Norway is actually closing half of their prisons because they don't have enough of a prison population to need all the prisons.
Okay.
And instead, what we do is in California, in a 10-year period of time, 28 prisons were built, but only one university was built.
Ah, so in other words, in Norway, they probably build more universities than they do prisons.
Pretty much, yeah.
Good. In other words, we need a better education system, and not the one we have now, and not Common Core.
Right, exactly.
You know what I say? Privatize it. Privatize the education system. Privatize the education system, privatize Social Security, privatize Medicare, privatize Medicaid, privatize the whole bloody thing. Let's go back to the Constitution and have the federal government take care of exactly what is spelled out in the Constitution.
Wouldn't that be a wonderful thing if they actually followed the law?
By me saying that and you agreeing with me, we're both RDSs.
Yeah, we're both RDSs. We're now terrorists. I mean, as if we weren't on the terrorist watch list before.
Well, and the thing is, I'm completely outfitted in denim tonight.
Yeah.
I'm definitely a terrorist. I'm completely outfitted in denim. All I have to do is go in my closet and put on a flannel shirt and whoa!
I have on my unicorn shirt right now, so...
Is it pink and fluffy?
No, it is not pink and fluffy, but it is a unicorn, so...
Is it dancing on a rainbow?
No. There is a rainbow behind it. Thanks to the Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act, inflation in the healthcare sector dropped to its lowest point in 50 years.
Yeah, because in the last 50 years, there isn't a, yeah, because, you know, the Obamacare pretty much is destroying the healthcare sector.
Yeah. Through a presidential memorandum, he changed the rules to concentrate immigration enforcement on those who commit crimes and vowed to stop breaking up families.
Okay. One, I'm so impressed that he can write a note. And two, he's pretty much violating the law yet again. He's legislating from the executive office. And two, let me think. Oh, yeah. Illegal immigrants have broken the law. Duh. Yantone.
Yeah, I just love how everybody keeps pushing that point. You know, it's like, oh, well, we need to give them amnesty and so on and so forth. But, you know, these guys, they've broken the law. They're illegal for a reason. They're named illegal. I'm sorry. Now, what are they called? They changed it to a more politically correct name.
I don't care. I'm not politically correct.
I think they call it potential citizens or emergent citizens is what they're calling them now.
No, they're illegal aliens.
Yeah. Well, that's not politically correct now, Joe.
I don't care. I'm not politically correct. Yeah.
But we have to be politically correct, Joe.
Correct. Do me a favor. Lobotomize me.
We have to be politically correct, Joe. That's the right way to be.
I'm getting on my scooter, I'm riding over there, and I'm kicking you in the jimmy stick.
The day you know I say that seriously is the day that I was like mind controlled literally by somebody to say it.
Well, yeah, the day that I become, like I said, or the day I become politically correct, please check my back for some sort of parasitical creature that is controlling my thoughts.
Yeah. And okay, so this next one here goes right into what we were just discussing. Through another presidential memorandum, President Obama streamlined the visa process to make it more responsive and humane for those who want to be here legally.
No! That's not your decision, snowball head. I could not think of anything better to say at that particular time. I don't know why I said snowball head.
I was taking a drink. Don't do that to me. I got a microphone. I got an electronic microphone here.
Many other colorful expletives, but I cannot. This is a family-friendly show. We're not on Howard Stern. If I was on Howard Stern, I'd be letting the F-bomb fly at will, but I can't do that here.
They have a delay and a bleeper.
Well, no, on the Howard Stern show on XM radio, you don't get bleeped.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
He can say whatever he wants, whenever he wants, and pretty much does.
I mean, the thing is,
but
again,
that's Congress's job to pass the laws and create the punishments.
Right.
And to set up the whole visa process, that is the job of the congressional side, the congressional branch of government.
And now he is allowing the military to have illegal immigrants in the military. Have you heard about that?
Yeah, I have. It's a path to citizenship.
Yeah.
No. Not that I'm saying that they would not fight well for our country and they would not be valued members of the military.
But they're not of our country.
Exactly. You want to be a valued member of a military? Go join your own.
Well, and not only that, but, you know, look, where is the potential for these guys to come in, get military training, and go back home?
Right. And then become terrorists.
Exactly. Hello.
Operatives of Al-Qaeda, which is a CIA front, or operatives of ISIS, ISIL, whatever, which is a Mossad front. Yes, I had that argument with David the other day, you know, my fiance's brother. Yeah. And, you know, he was talking about these ISIS terrorists, and I quite rightly informed him that ISIS is the Mossad. Yeah, the Mossad.
Was moving too slowly, but the fall of Ramadi has galvanized the Iraqi government. So with the additional steps I ordered last month, we're speeding up training of ISIL forces, including volunteers from Sunni tribes in Anbar province.
There you go, folks. Right from the
Freudian slip's mouth. The Freudian slip's mouth. It's insane. I mean, it's insane that now we are being inundated with these illegal immigrants. They are qualified to have up to $35,000 in tax returns this year, Joe. $35,000 each in tax returns. And Joe, they are now also qualified to get Social Security.
Oh, joy.
They are now qualified to get Social Security benefits.
Joy, joy, joy down in my heart.
How long did it take me to get on Social Security?
Huh?
Yeah. How long did it take me to get on Social Security? Yeah, that's all I have to say.
7 years?
That's all I have to say.
7 years, I think.
He took steps to tighten the reins when it comes to providing local law enforcement agencies with military-style equipment and exercising more control over the equipment they receive.
Oh, joy. Let's just have our local Leos outgunned.
Well, I think that that's actually a good thing because I don't want to see our police officers completely militarized. I don't really like seeing a standing army standing in front of me whenever I would make a traffic stop or something like that. It's kind of a little ridiculous.
I would like to see their SWAT teams outfitted with a M4, the M4 variant of the M16.
But they
nice
don't need
military style
rocket
flak
launchers.
vests.
They don't need rocket launchers, Joe. Hello.
No, I don't believe.
Grenade launchers and rocket launchers and everything.
Nice gas canister launcher would be a good thing, to launch in a little CNS gas, a little tear gas here and there would not go amiss. Which most police agencies already have these things. Hell, if you really want to know the truth, in the trunk of most Fort Wayne squad cars, there is an A4.
In regards to the MRAPs, this is a police officer that was speaking about the reason why the police officers have those big MRAPs. You ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the nice thing about this piece of equipment is that if somebody is directing fire toward a team that's trying to get in, they can pull right up to a front, take enemy fire, and still try to address a threat without being fear of getting shot.
So I'm thinking that is totally appropriate in Iraq, but what kind of a situation in the U.S. would you see that happening?
I mean, we've got a lot of constitutionalists and a lot of people that stockpile weapons, a lot of ammunition. They have weapons here locally.
They're for the constitutionalists, Joe.
Oh yeah, let them come after me. The thing is that what I was saying is having the body armor, protecting the people, the rank and file police officers that do their job is a good thing.
I do not at all disagree. I really do not at all disagree.
Do they need tanks?
No.
No. They have armored vehicles that they can use that, most of the time their SWAT vehicles are armored vehicles. Fine. They can have that. Do they need a vehicle that looks like a tank, like the one from, say, Die Hard? Oh, look, the police have an RV. No, they do not need that.
That's what he was referring to there with the
believe
MRAP.
me, I know what an MRAP is, and they don't need that. They don't. Nope.
They don't really need the microwave weapons either.
No. Well, maybe for crowd control. They would no. There's
no reason why those things should even exist. I'm sorry, but no.
Being able to heat the water on, sweat on the skin to over 1,000 degrees in about a second? No. Yeah. Quite painful, no.
Unnecessary. Yeah. Vetoed Republican bills that would have blocked the new NLRB rules that were designed to speed up the time that it takes workers to unionize, and also added a memorandum of disagreement to make his reasons for the veto clear, and made a major statement in support of unions.
That's an accomplishment.
Apparently.
He's a Democrat. He's been backed by and backing unions, since time immemorial.
Persevered with his campaign to turn gay marriage into marriage and won in the Supreme Court.
Again, that's an accomplishment.
That wasn't him. That wasn't him.
No, it wasn't. That's been the LBGVT. I don't even.
LBGTQ.
Whatever. That's been the gay and lesbian community's fight from day one. And it was some lawyer standing in front of the Supreme Court that made the argument that won that, not him.
Yeah. How about this? He plans to broaden his use of clemency to release thousands of nonviolent drug offenders from prison.
Planning to do something is now an accomplishment?
Apparently, according to this.
Wow, then I'm a very accomplished man.
Because I've made
got
a lot
all
of
kinds
plans.
of plans.
Oh, yeah, you and me both, man. I plan on being a world-dominating leader one day. Can I get some...
Are you really going to start the Iridian cult again?
Well, you never know.
Okay. Hey, just as long as I get a few of the hotties that come along with it.
How about this? He's visited more countries and met with more world leaders than any previous president during his first 6 months in office.
Yeah, he apologized to every single
one of them.
He apologized for American exceptionalism to every single one of them.
He went
to Japan and bowed to the Japanese emperor, to the prime minister of Japan.
He went to
No,
the
it wasn't
Vatican.
Japan. It was China.
Went
he
to the
bowed
Vatican.
to the Chinese
Yes.
premier.
Yes, exactly.
When no other president has ever done that.
He went to the Vatican, kissed the Pope's ring. He went to after the King Abdullah over in Saudi Arabia passed away. He went to the new king and bowed down and kissed his ring. Do we really need that as a president? Is that
He's an
acceptable?
apologist. I mean, okay, there is such a thing as respecting a certain country's culture, but you are on an equal level with most of these people that you are meeting. You are a world leader. That means that you shake their hand. For the Japanese the Japanese prime minister, you give a slight bow. You don't bow at the waist and bow lower than him. That implies, according to Japanese etiquette, that you are of a lower social or political standing than him. That is how it is done. The lower you bow, the lower your station. That is why you don't see the prime minister bow to anybody. You see him incline his head or shake somebody's hand. That is exactly what dumb brains should have done. But no, he went around the world for the first 6 months apologizing for America.
Yes, absolutely. And it disgusted me to see it every time. Absolutely disgusted me. I about threw up in my mouth every time I saw it, man.
I still about throw up in my mouth every time I see him. Anytime he comes on TV, I either leave the room or turn the channel.
Yep.
Usually finding some John Wayne movie is usually what I try to do.
Gotta be an American.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, let's take a break here, Joe. And when we come back, we'll finish up this list and talk about some other things as well. Stick around with us, folks. We'll be right back. The rising rate of autism is not just concerning, it's a disaster. No matter what the cause of it is something that everyone should be acutely aware of and actively helping out those in the community that have it. That is why Adventures in Autism was created. Adventures in Autism is a show inspired by our life with our son Seth and the many experiences his autism has brought to our lives. Each episode we bring you the topic of the week, news about autism, and resources to help you and your family or friends out in their own adventures with autism. Tune in Mondays at noon and midnight on lnmradionetwork.com or openeyesnetwork.com and get involved in the community. Let our experiences be an inspiration to you.
The L&M Radio Network and Late Night in the Midlands depends on you, the listener. Without you, there would be no us. So help us continue to bring you the best guests with the best information and subscribe today. Information on becoming an L&M subscriber can be found at the top of LateNightInTheMidlands.com. Just click the About Subscriptions tab and become part of the family while helping the truth stay alive. And while you're at it, maybe subscriptions aren't for you. A one-time donation helps as well. Click that donate button on the right side of LateNightInTheMidlands.com and help us help you.
Transmission. So I'll admit it, I'm a geek. I love anything science fiction or fantasy. I love to collect things that are related to the things that I like. There's a place that I go to find unique things. It's an Etsy shop that's called The Geeky Stitcher. They have some amazing and one-of-a-kind handcrafted collectibles on a lot of my favorite science fiction and fantasy-related shows and movies. You know, geek stuff. They have things like gloves that look just like the TARDIS from Doctor Who. They have crocheted figures from Star Trek, Disney movies, even Navi from The Legend of Zelda. They're all made with love, and they have a unique style, and best of all, they're cheaply priced. They'll even do custom orders. All you have to do is let them know what you would like to see made, and they'll get right on it. Check them out today at thegeekystitcher.etsy.com, or you can also go to their Facebook fan page, which is found at The Geeky Stitcher. Go there today. I'm sure you guys will find something that you would really, really love.
Save me the time and the trouble. Just leave me trapped in the maze. I'll live and die in this bubble, but I'll never give in to your torturous way. I cower when you're near. It's never considered it futile to carry the weight of your pain, a gift conceived by angels, dark blessings offered in vain. Sun outside when the roof gave in, you called from the wreckage you were lying in. You were out of reach and were out of time, but I took it all and told that lie. You held my hand and pulled me down with you. It's torture. I cower when you're near. It's torture. The scars won't ever feel the horror. Your soul so black and chill. It's torture. I can't stop what can't be killed. Save a place inside the walls of your cluttered mind. Let's listen for silence and sail back to when you crumble and decay. There's no love in this violence. No love anymore, no love anymore, no love anymore, no love anymore.
I'm giving Joe Long a little bit of torture tonight here myself. You guys are listening to Open Eyes. My name is Ira Robinson, and I want to thank you guys for sticking around through that break with me.
That was a damn good song.
Oh, man, that song just absolutely rocks, man. It's
definitely.
It's music like that reminds me that there's actually talent in the world instead of the things that we see happening right now.
Oh,
did
yeah.
you hear?
Talent, and it's better than, Lady Gaga.
Well, and her protege now, Ariana Grande, who came out in a video a couple of days ago, licking donuts at a donut shop that were on a plate, and then when they brought out more donuts, screaming, "I hate Americans! I hate America!"
Oh.
Most of her listener base are Americans and pay for her CDs and stuff, so apparently she hates them. Yeah, it's just
trying to figure out, okay, she licked the donuts. Did she pay for the donuts?
No.
So they had to throw those donuts away and bring out new ones.
Yeah.
And she hates Americans and hates America because they brought out
no donuts. Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
That's the kind of people that we're dealing with. That's the people that our kids are supposed to be looking up to. This was another one of those Disney mind controlled people that got put out.
I'm confused, but I'm generally confused.
So Obama, as he promised, gave a speech at a major Islamic forum in Cairo early in his administration.
Yeah, and apologized for America. Yet again.
He helped to restore America's reputation around the world as a global leader that does the right thing in world affairs, at least according to the rest of the world. More countries hate us now than they ever have before.
Hell, even our own allies hate us now.
Yeah.
I mean, Britain, who's been one of our staunchest allies for years, cannot stand Obama.
No.
The royal family hates the man. Have you ever seen him? Obama.
Well, there was
at Buckingham Palace.
There was an incident that happened a while back where he was with Queen Elizabeth, and they were getting ready to eat or something like that, and there was this big production being done of the God Bless the Queen or whatever it is. Anyways, so he ended up like taking a bite of something or something like that before she did, and she got pissed. She actually called him out on it right there.
Yeah, when you're in Britain and you're eating with the Queen, you do not eat until she does. It's just etiquette.
He totally went against protocol in every way.
Well, you see, when you're dealing with the Queen, she is the Queen.
Yeah, her nibs, it's all about her, so.
Aye. Well, you see, now I would have done it as an Irishman just to piss her off.
Yeah.
But then again, I'm an Irishman.
That's your
We've
duty.
been pissing off the British for 5,000 years.
It's kind of your duty.
I thought it is.
So he reestablished and reinforced our partnership with NATO and other allies on strategic international issues.
Really?
Yeah, apparently.
When we're pulling out of bases all over
Yeah.
Europe? I did it again.
Yes, you did, and it's a good thing it was a recording this time.
I cannot believe I did it again.
Well, we're talking about Obama and his failures. I expected it at some point. At least you did it on the recording instead of the live show last night. Okay, so well, you were just speaking about this next section that he's closed a number of secret detention facilities, and that's a lie. It's a flat out lie.
Yes, it is.
Improved relations with Middle East countries by appointing special envoys. And then allowing them to be
Improved
killed.
relations? How?
And then allowing them to be killed in attacks like Benghazi.
How is he improved relations? We are more hated in the Arab world than we have ever been.
Yeah. Pushed
and
forward.
we weren't exactly liked to begin with.
Well, and here you go. Pushed forward the first realistic Middle East peace strategy in more than a decade without abandoning the two-state solution. That's apparently in relation to Israel and Palestine.
Yeah, and that's an outright
It's a fail.
lie, too.
It's a complete fail.
Epic. No. Not even epic. Doesn't even. Global fail.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
a global fail.
Exactly. He pushed for the military to emphasize development of foreign language skills.
Why? I can't speak English? Don't join my military.
Offered 400 million people to the people living in 400 million people. Here, have 400 million people. That'd be about the United States. He's handing over the United States. Hey, I totally went there. Yeah, okay. Offered $400 million to the people living in Gaza, called both Israel and Palestine to stop inciting violence.
Okay, we're going to pay the people in the Gaza Strip.
$400 million.
For what? So that they can turn around, give it to the CIA-controlled, CIA-run and controlled so-called Al-Qaeda, and they can blow up more stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yes, I went there, CIA. If you don't like it, you know where I live. Come shut me up.
And okay, here's another one that I just don't get. He refused to give Israel the green light to attack Iran over their possible nuclear program and thus avoid another war that Republicans wanted. Why do we have to give the green light or the red light to Israel on anything? Aren't they their own country?
Pretty much.
Oh, I'm sorry. Israel runs us. Well, I mean, you look at the state of Congress, and most of the people that are there have dual citizenship with us and the Americans and with Israel.
Yeah, pretty much.
So I think that's absolutely wrong right there. I think that anybody that has dual citizenship should not be qualified to run this country in any way.
Shouldn't even be able to hold office.
No, in any way.
No. They shouldn't even be able to run for local dog catcher. Maybe a dog catcher.
Ordered the closure of the prison at Guantanamo Bay,
which is still open, ladies and gentlemen.
And I like how they try to play it off here. It was Republicans and, unfortunately, progressive Democrats who prevented the follow-through.
Right.
Ordered a review of our detention and interrogation policy and prohibited the use of torture, or what Bush called enhanced interrogation. He ordered interrogators to limit their actions to the Army Field Manual.
Okay.
Right.
Baloney.
Here on American soil, perhaps, but that's why they have all of those offshore rendition facilities all across the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans.
Right.
Where they've bought out, they have purchased from the oil companies different oil rigs, and they use those as the retention facilities.
And they're usually run by some torture-friendly countries.
Yes, exactly. Exactly it.
So that the CIA operatives don't have to get their lily white hands dirty.
Exactly it. Did you hear there was a while back a list put out of the different songs that are used in these facilities as torture?
No, I haven't, but I'm afraid.
You haven't heard about
to
that?
ask.
Yeah, so one of them was the theme song for Barney and Friends.
God, no.
Played at 100 decibels.
Right there, that would be, I'll tell you anything you want to know, just please shut it off. You do, and I will beat you.
No. I'm trying to find the list.
I was going to say, you play that, I will come up there and beat you.
Yeah, so that was one of them. Let me see here. I'm going to have a hard time reading here. The Real Slim Shady by Eminem.
Oh, God.
Take Your Best Shot by Dope.
Don't know that one.
Dirty by Christina Aguilera.
Oh, God. Yeah, I mean, these are torturous songs so far.
Zikrati, or My Memories by Muhammad El Kasagbi.
Why would that be torture to a Muslim?
Babylon by David Gray. I Love You, the Barney theme song.
Ugh. Like I said, that one right
Saturday
there.
Night Fever by the Bee Gees.
Oh, God. Yeah, those two alone would be like, whatever you want to know. I'll tell you whatever you want to know.
Okay,
Just
I gotta just play this. This is another one.
Oh, God, no. Stop. I'll tell you whatever you want to know. Please just stop the dang cat.
Beautiful People by Marilyn Manson.
Oh, Lord.
Screw Your God by Deicide.
I have no idea what that one is.
That's actually not the name of it. It's actually F Your God. But and We Are the Champions by Queen.
No,
Those
that's good music. Dang it.
Those were the ones that were used to torture by being played at 120 decibels 24 hours a day.
Like I said, they get to Barney. I'd be like, I'll tell you whatever you want to know. Just please
And the
stop.
Meow Mix one.
You tell me what you want to know, and I'll tell you.
Jolene just whispered,
I'll
I
make
love that
something
one.
up.
Jolene just whispered, I love that one.
You tell me what you want to know, and I'll make something up. Thank you.
He released the Bush torture memos.
Yeah, that was just to make Bush look bad.
On his second day in office, he signed a detailed executive order that banned torture, reversed all Bush torture policies, and put the United States in compliance with the Geneva Convention.
I didn't know we weren't in. The thing is that the Geneva Convention does not apply.
Yeah.
For the Geneva Convention to apply, they have to be members of a opposing army from a recognized country under a declaration of war.
Yeah. If anything, it'd fall under the Nuremberg trials. In response to the emerging Arab Spring, he created a rapid response fund to assist emerging democracies with foreign aid, debt relief, technical assistance, and investment packages in order to show that the United States stands with them.
Arab Spring is a lie.
Yep. Yepper as it is. He ended the F-22 program, saving $4 billion. Though the single-seat twin-engine fighter aircraft cost $358 million each, and the military had 187 of them built, the F-22 never flew a combat mission.
Okay. And the F-14 never, up until the Gulf War, had never flown a combat mission.
Yeah. He passed the Iran Sanctions Act to prevent war and encourage the Iranian government to give up their nuclear program.
Yeah, that's worked out. How's that worked out for you?
Yeah, it's worked out so well that we're now giving them $11 billion in non-refundable or non-necessarily refundable monies.
Mm-hmm.
We've been doing it since January, and up until the middle to end of July is where we've been giving them payments, adding up to $11 billion. It does not have to be paid back, and it's a no questions asked gift. That's sanctions, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
He ended the Iraq War.
Excuse me?
Yep. That's what the claim is. That's why we still have people there and why we're sending another 7,900 troops over there, right?
Yeah. He caused the surge.
Because the war ended. Worked to keep our withdrawal from Afghanistan on track despite GOP opposition, and he reiterated that commitment in 2014.
And I do believe we still have people in Afghanistan.
Yeah, exactly. Many, many, many people who are still dying. Authorized and oversaw a secret mission by SEAL Team 6 to rescue 2 hostages held by Somali pirates.
Yeah, let's just... Yeah, right. This man has about as much knowledge of SEAL Team 6's actions and tactics as a garden slug has of a personal computer.
And I would like to add in as well that SEAL Team 6 got completely devastated after they did the capture, the kill of Osama bin Laden. Most of them died in a helicopter accident afterwards.
Mm-hmm. Actually, that was SEAL Team 7.
Was it 7? I thought it was 6.
No, SEAL 7 that was the one responsible for Osama.
Okay, well, either way. Through United Nations Ambassador
Yeah,
Susan
you know
Rice,
why? Because Osama wasn't really there.
Yeah.
They've had him on ice since before 9/11.
Right, they had to die to prevent anybody from coming out and saying, by the way, there wasn't anybody there.
Right, and the members of SEAL 7 that are still alive know better than to say anything.
We know that the picture that was put out of them in the basement watching the screen, and you see Hillary Clinton with her hand to her mouth, and oh my, this whole thing, and they took this picture alleging that this was them watching video footage of the kill of Osama bin Laden, and it was a lie. It was not that incident never took place. The picture was not taken during that time period. It was taken as a cabinet meeting picture 2 months before this incident took place. It was a lie. It was completely fabricated. And the American people believed it.
SEAL 7 had no video transmitting equipment on them.
And the American people believed it. Through United Nations Ambassador Susan Rice, he helped negotiate a split of Sudan into 2 countries, thus allowing for the creation of independent South Sudan.
Yeah, let's just take credit for Susan Rice. He's never liked her.
Yeah.
I mean, because she was Bush's Secretary of State.
Yep. Worked with the Democratic Congress to make donations to Haiti tax deductible.
Why would you have to...
Established a new U.S.-China strategic and economic dialogue.
Ah, it's called the TTP.
TPP.
Whatever.
Issued an executive order blocking interference and helping to stabilize Somalia.
There he goes with his executive orders again.
Established
You know, I can tell you a real good way to stabilize Somalia. Find all the warlords and shoot them.
That'd be a pretty good one. He established new, more reasonable policies in our relations with Cuba, such as allowing Cuban Americans to visit their families and send money to support them.
Now, that I have no problem with because, truthfully, the whole embargo thing really wasn't working anymore.
It wasn't really necessary to begin with.
No, it wasn't.
He negotiated the framework for an agreement with Iran that would end their nuclear weapons program. So they keep bringing this nuclear weapons program up, and it's failed completely either way.
Yeah, another global fail.
Became the first U.S. president to visit Jamaica in more than 30 years and worked to restore relations with the country. And signed a natural gas distribution agreement with the country. That's why he went.
Wait a minute. I didn't even know we were mad at Jamaica.
Apparently.
How can you be mad at Jamaica? Probably the most laid back and relaxed place on the planet.
You can't piss Jamaica off.
I mean, think about it. It is the most laid back and relaxed place on the planet because it's one of the few places on the planet that pot is legal.
Yeah.
And you see people walking down the street smoking ganja going, hey, man, Hey, brother, welcome to Jamaica. Have a little ganja.
Actually, to be honest with you, Jamaica has some of the toughest cannabis laws on the planet. If you want to know the truth, if you get down and you actually look at the laws, they actually have some very strict laws when it comes to the ganj. Probably because they have such a prevalence of it there. He created a comprehensive new strategy for dealing with the international nuclear threat.
Yeah, I'm sure he had to work till the wee hours of the morning to read it.
Restarted nuclear non-proliferation talks and built up the nuclear inspection infrastructure and protocols to where they had been before Bush.
Excuse me?
And he signed and pushed through a ratification of a new SALT treaty.
What, SALT 3? Because SALTs 1 and 2 just work so well.
Yeah. Negotiated and signed a new START treaty that will last until at least 2021.
Yippee.
Through the NDAA, he reversed the Bush administration and committed to no permanent military bases in Iraq.
What if they ask for them?
He developed the first comprehensive strategy with regard to Afghanistan and Pakistan designed to facilitate the defeat of al-Qaeda and the withdrawal of most troops, as well as the rebuilding of Afghanistan.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure he's the one that thought that up. I'm sure it was all his work.
And money goes flying like crazy. The troops are literally there just to do one thing, and that's to guard the poppy fields. He returned our focus to Afghanistan, stabilized the country, and began the process of withdrawing our troops from the country. We didn't need to be there to begin with. I mean, that's number one. Why were we even
just a matter
freaking
of
there?
Their drugs are, our drugs are in their dirt.
Well, our oil is in their dirt.
And so are our drugs.
Well, and as well, just not long after the war over there began, there was a study that was put out that showed that Pakistan and Afghanistan have the most mineral wealth out of any other country in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Gee, now you know why we went there.
They're two of the poorest countries in the world.
Now you know why we went there.
Yeah. But like I said, they're also two of the poorest countries in the world. Because somebody's constantly invading them, so they have to fight them off so they can't develop their natural resources.
He took steps to severely weaken al-Qaeda and limited their ability to terrorize the world.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure that was all him. Yeah, all him. All him.
Took decisive action to use NATO to limit the slaughter of innocents in Libya so that the Libyan people could topple the despotic Gaddafi government and determine their own fate.
What?
One of these days I'm going to do an episode about the leader makers. These are people who would go into different countries around the world, including like Iraq before Saddam was killed and so on. These people would go into these countries and try to convince the leaders of the countries through either payouts or threats to side with the United States in different policies. And when they would fail to do so, they would move in, remove the person from leadership one way or the other, whether through deposing them or through assassinations. And by the time all is said and done, they would foment a revolution in the country to allow a new government, an American-friendly government, to be put into place.
Nation building.
Nation building. One of these days I'm going to have to do an episode of that. Just because
the thing is, if we really wanted to kill Gaddafi, we could have done it many years ago.
We're the ones that helped him get into place to begin with.
Right. Like I said, we had the technology back when Reagan was president to take him. We had bombs back then that could take out the door of his condo without touching the frame.
Yeah. He got
his palace.
He got the Egyptian dictator Mubarak to leave the Egyptian government to the people to determine their own fate. And how well has that worked out for Egypt now?
Not real well at all.
In 2011, he reoriented American focus from the Middle East to the Asian Pacific region by simultaneously engaging China and crafting new alliances with Asian countries uncomfortable with Chinese behavior.
Right. Yet China still has most favored nation status. Yeah. I do believe.
Well, and they just not too long ago overpowered the United States as the economic superpower in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Because of America. Restored, you're going to love this one, Joe. Restored federal agencies such as FEMA to the point that they have been able to manage a huge number of natural disasters successfully.
And I quote Ronald Reagan, the 7 scariest words ever said, "I'm from the government. I'm here to help."
Yep.
When you see a FEMA truck coming, most people run the other way.
How about this one? He has increased border security.
Oh my Bob. Increased border security by what? Cutting funding for the Border Patrol?
Our borders are more open now than they ever have been.
The only reason that the southern border has got any protection at all is the Patriots.
Is the militias. Exactly. That's the only reason why we have any kind of security down there at all. Any.
Okay, I just got 2 words for you people, or 3 actually. Fast and Furious.
Exactly. Thank you. I was hoping you'd bring it up.
All I got is Fast and Furious.
I was hoping you'd bring it up.
Under his, and he can try to put that one on Bush. No. That was your baby, Mr. Obama.
Yep.
And your administration's good idea. And it cost a Border Patrol agent, a good man, his life. Because you put that gun in the hands of a dirtball. All the strife along the Texas border, the people being killed on jet skis because these drug runners are getting guns from you. Their blood is on your hands, oh craphead.
Instead of holding hearings and trying to create a political football, he quietly captured a suspect who actually committed the Benghazi terrorist attack, and he's also getting a lot of useful information from the subject. So I guess he did this in between golf games. He went in there ninja style and captured this person, and now he's interrogating him himself.
Apparently.
I mean, according to this, that's what it reads.
More than likely, though, that would have been somebody like, SEALs, Green Beret, Delta Force, somebody like that. Who knows? Maybe even an ATF agent.
How about this? He signed an executive order allowing sanctions against individuals and groups that threaten national cybersecurity. Have we really seen that?
Nope.
Okay, so next section, and we're running short on time here, Joe, so we're going to kind of go through this quick, but let me get your opinion on this section's name. He has returned the government to treating soldiers and veterans with dignity and respect.
To quote Sherman T. Potter, horse hockey. God, treating them with respect, baloney. Look at the VA system.
Absolute trash. We've got about 1 minute left, Joe. I want to get your thoughts here, maybe even your thoughts there on that little end section or whatever it is that you want to go with. Go for it.
The fact that this is nothing more in the last 2 days that we have heard as nothing more than him grandstanding, somebody trying to grandstand and grab all the acclamations they can and shove them on the anointed one. He has done 0 as president. You want to talk about lame duck? This is the lamest of lame duck presidents.
We see more racism and division now than we ever have in the past 100 years worth of time here in this country. They have completely destroyed everything that the Civil Rights Act and movement did, and they are trying to make us even more divided than we were before.
Oh, God, yes. Martin Luther King and Medgar Evers are spinning in their graves. The only one that's pretty much happy about this would be Malcolm X, because this is Malcolm X style politics. That's exactly what this is.
It's been a very interesting couple of days, Joe.
Yes, it has.
If you guys out there want to take a look at this list that we found and read it for yourself, read the nonsense for yourself, you guys can do so. We're going to have the show notes up for this show. You guys can find them at openeyesnetwork.com/OE121. There's 302 things on this list. We only touched maybe, 80-ish at the most. Lots
We'd
and lots
need
of
6,
stuff.
7, 8, 9, 10 hours to
yeah.
get through them all.
It would take us a full week of shows to get through all of the BS that's in this thing. So, yeah. If you guys want to send us an email, you can send it to feedback@openeyesnetwork.com. If you guys want to go to my Facebook and Twitter pages, those are at Open Eyes Network on both of those platforms. On Monday, I'm not sure what my topic is going to be about yet, but I'll be sure to let you guys know over the various social media outlets over the weekend. Either way, you can tune in on Monday, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time at OpenEyesNetwork.com or LNMRadioNetwork.com and get all of the good stuff that we talk about on these shows. Be sure to go into my archives and listen to all of the shows that we've brought you. We have like 18 episodes at this point. Of Brothers in Arms. I have about 121 episodes of Open Eyes. We've got 10-ish episodes of Adventures in Autism. There's a lot of stuff that we've brought for you guys. So make sure that you go to our archives, OpenEyesNetwork.com. Everything is available for you right there. Joe, thank you so much for being with me the past couple of days.
Hey, no problem, brother. Always happy to be here.
Until next time, keep safe out there and have fun, and thank you so much for listening.